KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson celebrating the 75th liberation with the people of Guam. Biba Guam. Cars Plus, reminding you to put your phone down while driving. Distractions won't get you there. Heads Up Guam. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And steaks, ribs, seafood, and our famous fresh garden bar, Ruby Tuesday. Good times you can taste.
Coming up on Primetime, a death investigation is now underway after a shooting Sunday evening in Jigo leaves one man dead. Plus, on August 1st, expect to see an increase in fees when requesting for court and traffic clearances. And KUAM's Julia Santos has the latest from a press conference concerning Guam's coral reefs.
Half a day, everyone, and good evening. A death investigation is currently underway after a shooting in Jigo late Sunday night. KUAM's Adriana Cotero has the latest.
It was on Sunday evening, shortly before 9 p.m., when officers from the Dedado precinct responded to a reported shooting at a home on Chalintun, Fred Cabeza, and Jigo. At the scene, a man was found unresponsive. He was transported to Guam Regional Medical City, and an hour later, he was pronounced dead, having succumbed to his injuries. According to GPD spokesperson Sergeant Paul Tapau, the investigation is ongoing and remains classified as a shooting.
I can't really disclose the scene in itself other than where we are standing. This is where, our investigators are taking this investigation to further, to develop more leads, more information that comes their way, and of course moving with this information that they gather.
An investigation is underway by GPD's Criminal Investigation Division, with Sergeant Tapau saying he could not disclose any further information on the victim or if there are any suspects.
We spoke with the resident in the area who says they were not home at the time, but their mother and father were. The mother heard gunshots, 2 to be exact, went outside, grabbed their father who was on the back porch, came in and took shelter. According to the residents, they don't know the name of who lives in this house. However, they say they always see cars go in and out, and that this is the first time they've had an incident like this here.
The source asked to remain anonymous, stating that they want to be cooperative with the police and their investigation. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
The trial set date of July 31st has been vacated for the pair of brothers indicted in the Manilao Machete attack. Emmanuel Resalop and Jordan Rechalop appeared in Judge Vern Perez's courtroom today. Judge Perez has ordered a psych evaluation to assess Resalop for this matter. As reported in a separate robbery and assault case, a psych eval had been conducted for the defendant. However, his attorney Samuel Tecker said he did not know the status. Jordan filed a notice to waive his right to a speedy trial. A new trial date has not yet been determined. The brothers are scheduled to be back in court on August 12th. The Federal Election Commission has written 2 letters to Delegate Michelson Nicholas, including one that warns of an audit or enforcement action for, quote, failure to adequately respond. Here's more.
A May 28 letter from the Federal Election Commission to Guam Delegate Mike San Nicolas requests information essential to full public disclosure of your federal election campaign finances. And the letter further warns failure to adequately respond by the response date could result in an audit or enforcement action. A problem with Congressional Financial Services Vice Chair San Nicolas's finance totals, pointed out by the feds. Totals appear to be incorrect, the feds write. San Nicolas has since filed an amended report. The second letter from the FEC, dated June 24th, calls out our congressman for raising and spending more than $5,000 towards the 2020 election. According to the FEC, San Nicolas's principal campaign, quote, has accepted contributions and or made expenditures in support of your 2020 candidacy in excess of $5,000, thus meeting the definition of candidate. The letter advises San Nicolas to, quote, either disavow these activities by notifying the commission in writing that you are not a candidate, or file a statement of candidacy within 35 days from the date of this letter. The FEC, referencing over $12,000 the delegate has already raised for his 2020 election campaign, including $5,000 raised during a fundraiser on March 23, 2019 at Good Times Lounge. In response, San Nicolas filed a statement of candidacy for the 2020 election on July 27th, almost 5 months after he held that fundraiser. Federal campaign finance laws say a statement of candidacy must be filed within 15 days of spending or raising $5,000 towards an election. In an email, San Nicolas Legislative Council Sahara Defensor blamed old staffers for the problems, saying, quote, previous campaign filers were found to be deficient and were replaced prior to the notification from the FEC with new staff who are currently working with the FEC to correct prior staff errors. We asked for copies of the congressman's response to the FEC. However, those were not provided. According to his newest candidacy statement, San Nicolas' new campaign treasurer is his sister, Faith San Nicolas, and his new campaign chair is his congressional district director, Jennifer Nguyen. For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Thanks, Chris. The airport responds to KUAM questions about an alleged drain dump of what a source tells us was firefighting foam containing the controversial forever chemical PFAS. Airport Marketing Director Elfrie Koshiba says a KUAM news source familiar with airport firefighting operations was misinformed. The source saying a drum shown over a storm drain was not full of residue but undiluted firefighting foam. Koshiba says the only time foam is discharged is during annual training, and she adds, we do not dump foam down drains since this is a very expensive commodity. Dumping this down the drain would not only be irresponsible but also very costly for any airport, end quote. Koshiba says a video showing airport firefighters spraying a chemical into the jungle is part of an annual equipment testing. She says the chemical being sprayed is called Purple K and consists of potassium bicarbonate, which Koshiba describes as safe, and baking soda. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs Secretary Robert Wilkie will be here this week. He's scheduled to meet with Acting Governor Joshua Tenorio and the Guam Veterans Commission. He's also expected to tour vet facilities and lay a wreath at the World War II Heroes Memorial at the Assen Bay Overlook. Adelup says local leaders plan to discuss various issues such as delays in claims processing and using federal land to build veterans facilities. Wilkie is in Pohnpei to attend the inauguration for FSM President David Penuelo. He also met there with Governor Lou Leon Guerrero. Contra y Peligro exercises are slated to begin tomorrow. The two-day exercise tests multi-agency response involving the Guam National Guard's 94th Civil Support Team, along with federal and local responders. Residents can expect to see and hear helicopter flights, sirens, horns, and loud explosions. Organizers note that traffic may increase along Route 3. Activities will be expected at various locations like the Micronesia Mall and the Guam Airport. Guam National Guard PIO Josephine Blas says that it is all a controlled environment.
This particular annual exercise really tests our capabilities with our federal and local responders right here on Guam, how we interact and how we work together. And the reason exercises are so important is because we want to learn the capabilities of others. We want to know.
Governor Lou Leon Guerrero says the exercises provide responders with a way to evaluate emergency response. She adds that it is a key component to maintain readiness for all hazards. The Judiciary of Guam is increasing and implementing new fines and fees for the Superior Court this week. KUAM's Adriana Cotero speaks with spokesperson Sean Gumatau for the reason behind the increases.
From $10 to $20 and $5 to $10, Superior Court clearance and traffic fees will be doubled in the next 2 days. Trying to recover costs for particular services. That is the main reason for the hike in existing fees. According to spokesperson Sean Gumatau, it's been 5 years since an adjustment has been made to the fees.
In that time, there's been obviously an increase in the cost of the delivery of that service to people. Also, the Fair Chances Act is was also impacting this entire process. If we just go backwards to the beginning of the fiscal year, when the judiciary's budget wasn't a big significant increase as we were expecting.
Gumatau says their budget has maintained status quo for the past 3 fiscal years, and since the beginning of this current fiscal year, their staff has reviewed comparables across the country and keeping pace with the cost of doing business on Guam. In addition, the courts are introducing new costs. Currently, there are no fees for counseling and education programs, use of the Judicial Education Center, and services in the Marshal and Probation divisions.
There's a couple of new ones. Our Judicial Education Center, which just opened a couple of years ago, we had been providing those services to the general public for free. But we have the power, the water, the computer labs there that have to be maintained. Also, our Marshals division, which had provided certain types of training to outside organizations in the executive branch. Now, when we start doing stuff like TASER certification and other training for law enforcement, it used to be free, but the cost to deliver that type of certification, the court was absorbing all that cost.
All fee changes will be effective August 1st. For the complete listing of fees, you can visit guamcourts.org. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Adriana Cotero.
Stay tuned. We're back with more news in a moment.
There are